Oh, hello. It's nice of you to come. I will fetch the piece you should take with you. Please, here. This is it. You will need it. Please. Good luck.
Hello and welcome to Let's Play RHEM 2: The Cave. This game was released about 2 years after the release of the original RHEM, and is a sequel to that game developed entirely by Nuttmuller once again. And much like its predecessor, this game features some stale acting, as you could see in that opening cutscene, but thankfully for us it also limits that acting and focuses on its primary strength, which is puzzle solving. Now, if you haven't played or seen the original RHEM, don't worry, because you don't really need a lot of context for this game other than what we saw in that video. Basically, some guy gave us something and has sent us off to some place to do some mission that for some reason he can't do himself. Yeah. We don't really know too much other than that, except that if you have seen the first game, one thing that's worth mentioning is that that guy that we just saw was Zettius, one of the brothers that we heard about but never saw in that game. And apparently he wants us to go back to RHEM, although a different part of RHEM. But you don't want to hear me sitting around talking about it, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Like the original game, this one begins on a rail car. And I think that's the exact same sound we heard at the beginning of the first game when we first started. I gotta wonder what in the world that building face down the ground is all about. As well as that path that kind of just veers off to the left but stops after a few yards. And why is there a stop sign there anyway? Looks like we got a whole bunch of signs here. And wait, do you see that one on the left there? No horses. Seriously? I like riding my horse on a rail track. Not cool. Anyway, one thing that's worth mentioning about this game is that it takes place in quite a bit of a different environment than the first game. Whereas that one took place in broad daylight in an industrial type complex, this one takes place underground in a cavern. And while the Myst series of games may have been a primary inspiration for RHEM, the cavern here is nothing like the one of the Dunny from the Myst series. Instead, rather than the open and spacious and grand cavern from there, we get a rather cramped and claustrophobic cavern. That being said though, the atmosphere here is still pretty remarkable, and I gotta admit I really do like it quite a bit more than that of the first game. The graphics have also taken a bit of an improvement as well. Whereas the first game ran at 640 by 480 resolution, this one runs at 800 by 600, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it's just a marginal improvement, but still, it's something. You know what else is something? Those lights. I'm really glad we have them. Otherwise, it would be a very, very dark game. Also, this really squeaks a lot. I don't know if the oil or the wheels have not been oiled, or maybe the track is just rusty, I don't know. But it looks like we're nearing the end. Or at the very least, we're being lowered down. I'm already seeing lots of different places that we can explore. And I am looking forward to it. It will be fun. Alright, we've reached the end of the line. Great. Now, like the original, if we try to go forward, we can't go any further, nor can we go backward in this car. So we're going to have to find a way out of here. So let's start taking a look around. Over to our left, we see a pathway, which suggests that this must be a door that we need to open up. And this thing is connected to this little box right here. Now, when I move my mouse over the box, it turns into an open hand with a question mark on it. Basically, this signifies that I need to use an item here. Now, the inventory works a little bit differently in this game. The interface that you're about to see exists in this game as well as the next two in the RHEM series. In the middle we've got a compass, which I'll talk more about here in a little while. And on the right we've got this wheel thing, which accesses the options. And on the left we've got our inventory in this box. If we click on the box, we can see what we've got. Currently we just have that piece that Zettias gave us. Does that work in here? No. But one thing's for sure, we still have the sorry noise from the original game, which is cool, I guess. Well, let's take a look around. This looks promising. We got some sort of card here. That might fit into that slot, right? Now when we mouse over it, our hand opens up and has a plus sign over it. This signifies that we can then add this item to our inventory. And when we do that, the inventory box lights up, denoting that there's a new item there. So let's try using this here. Alright, that did the trick. So now we can go out and explore. Now one really nice thing about this game is that the transitions are much smoother than that of the original. And this will probably make for some much better video watching. You can use the options to go back to the old style transitions or make the transitions faster or slower. But I've got them on the medium option and I think that will work best. Now let's talk about this compass a little bit. Currently we're facing north, but if we turn west, you'll notice that the needle faces east. And the same thing occurs when we face east, the needle faces west. This is pretty much how a real-life compass acts like, but I gotta say, for a gameplay mechanic, it's kind of a little bit confusing. But just know that when we're facing a certain direction, the direction that the needle is pointing when it's west or east is opposite of where we're facing. Thankfully, north and south are constants, so that is good. Well, let's see what's up here on this ladder. We can get a pretty good view of this whole entrance area here. This is where we got lowered, and then we just kind of came around here. We'll check out more of that here in a little while, but first I want to look at what lies behind this door. Alright, we got some sort of screen with a speaker and a button, as well as maybe a CD-ROM drive. And to our left, we can see a drawing of this contraption with what looks like either a piece of paper or a CD, or a piece of paper with something that looks like a CD drawn on it, being inserted in there. And here we got a diagram that seems to resemble the rail car, the platform it's on, and two posts. Okay, well that was kind of pointless. Let's see if this works even without the piece of paper being inserted in here. Maybe we can press this button.
Hello, my name is Kalis. By the time you receive this message, I won't be here anymore. I will have left these caves, but for your information and for your orientation, I have recorded this video message. If you were with my brother Zettias, you will have certainly received the first part of the key. You should be able to find it in your inventory. The complete key contains 3 parts. When they are put together, they form the shape of a 7-point star. I found the second part a few years ago in another area of RHEM, above on the surface. Maybe it was you that helped me back then and informed my brother Zettias. In order to prevent this part falling into the wrong hands, I have it here close to me and have hidden it along with a message. The third part must also be hidden here in the caves. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find it. I hope you are more successful, for you will need it in order to put the key together. With these 3 parts, it will be possible for you to open the entryway to a deeper, more hidden part of this cave system. There, in an unknown part of the caves, lies a secret artifact. It is important for you to find this disc because my brother Zettias needs a picture of it. I wish you a lot of luck in your search for the missing pieces of the key. See you soon.
You know, I will say one thing about Zettias. Even though he was kind of a dull actor, at least he looked awake and excited. This guy kind of looks like he's bored. Maybe he's bored not helping us out here, because seriously, we could use some help. There are going to be a lot of puzzles in this game, much more so than the previous one. Let's start by taking a look at some of those puzzles. We got some sort of machine here with 9 buttons and 3 wires coming out of it. We can push the buttons, although nothing's happening. Okay, it made a little ding sound at the end, but then that was immediately followed by the sorry noise. So, I'm assuming we have to press these in a certain order, but we don't actually have that order yet. Here on the left, we get a view of the entrance area, as well as a thermometer with 2 different temperature measurements, I guess. This one kind of looks like a bowl thing. Kind of looks like Gen's office from Riven on the 233rd age, actually. And this thing looks like a backwards C and a backwards N. Well, let's look at this here for a second and try to establish a relationship between these two things for future reference. It looks like for every 2 of the CN things, we get 3 of the bowl-shaped things. See, at this point, this is 2, and this is 3, this is 4, and this is 6, and so forth. That's good to know. And in this room, we get a picture of 3 houses. That sure is a picture of 3 houses. And it looks like this picture has wires coming out of it. One of them runs into this room. Let's see what's in here. We got what looks to be a case for a camera or something. A window that looks into a pathway. As well as a drawing. That kind of looks like the piece that Zettius gave us. Yeah, this one right here. So it looks like we're going to have to find this one and this one. I'm guessing this one is the 3rd piece that Kalos was talking about, the one that they haven't found yet. But when they're all put together, they would form this shape. And right here, it looks like we're supposed to put something on this little panel here. And it looks like this is the camera, so maybe this is where that artifact is supposed to be. Now, I don't really know how big the artifact is, or even what shape it is, but at least they're well prepared. And here we can see what that wire that came out of the house painting, or picture, comes to. It goes right into this thing. Unfortunately, this thing does not work. And right here we've got some stuff. We got a cabinet. It's locked. We got some rulers or angle thingies. I forget what these are called. We get a straight ruler, a straight edge, and this one has 2 different units of measurement. This kind of looks like an 8th note rest, or an 8th rest in music notation, except it's not italicized. And these things look like, I don't know, horseshoes or something. So, let's see. 2 of the horseshoes equal 7 8th rests. So basically, in order to convert from this to this, we'll need to multiply by 3.5. Alrighty. And for the thermometer stuff, we would need to multiply the CN stuff by 1.5, right? Alright, this thing with the key here is locked. That doesn't work. Now, one thing that this game does do is that it actually has 2 different sorry noises, versus just the one from the original game. The familiar sorry noise plays only when you get something wrong, whereas this buzzer-like sound plays when something isn't powered, I believe. At least I think that's the way it works. And here we got a clock. This one works. And this clock tells colors. Interesting. And it makes a noise at the end. And now it's showing different colors. So what exactly does this connect to? Okay, I see where this is going. This is the little thing here that we saw on the other side with the 9 buttons. These are the 3 wires that come out of them. And here we got something else. I guess this thing is closed. And we got a clock. Aw, it's broken. Not cool. It's a cute little clock. Now, one thing I haven't looked at yet are these photos of the moon. We got 7 in this room, and we got another 2 in the other room over there. So let's take a look at them. It seems like the moon is placed at different compass points. This one's north, this one's south, southeast, this one's in the middle. But they all seem to be placed in very obvious locations that can be referenced with compass directions, is what I'm saying. Now, one thing you can do if you place your mouse here at the very edge of the picture is rotate the pictures. This took me a very long time to discover. And it seems like these moon positions have different letters or syllables or something associated with them. This one is Pa, so maybe this moon that's here in the middle above everything else is the father moon. And this one's the south moon. Neck. Alright, so that's a neck moon. And southeast, we got Joke. Maybe he's the Joker. Okay, so maybe this is like Odin and that's Loki. Okay, maybe not. And the center one is Limb. And speaking of limbs, we got some limbs here on this tree with the east moon. 2. This one has no moon on it. Me. A name I call myself. And southwest has Sue. Alright, very interesting, although I really don't know what this is going to be used for yet. We got 2 more moon pictures here. Row. That's northwest, and northeast is, hang on a sec, this way. Gua. Maybe Remians like guacamole, I don't know. So right now we've got pictures for every moon position except west. So we're just going to have to keep that in mind. Well, I think we've looked at all we can see here in this room, so let's continue onward. It looks like from here we can see another path that goes into another doorway, but we can't get there right now. Also, note that there's another track here that leads off into a tunnel. So if we were able to raise this whole thing up, excuse me, then we might be able to ride it out of here, considering that we can move only in this direction. Let's continue looking around. We got a fork in the road here. Let's go left first. This leads to a dead end, but we got some sort of hatch here, along with 12 buttons. And that's wrong. Okay, so maybe the thing I've said earlier about the buzzer thing was wrong. I guess the buzzer noise does play even when you do get some stuff wrong. Yeah. We don't know the combination of that, but we'll keep that in mind for later. And here we got a sign that has 3 different 2x2 grids. And the middle one has some numbers, 2, 5, 3, and 9. Now, we've seen something that looks like this before, right? We saw this in the 3 houses thing. So I guess the middle house has these 4 windows. And those are the numbers that are associated with those windows. Alrighty. There's the area where we were lowered. Alright, finally a button that didn't give us a sorry noise. And we got 2 paths here. I'm just going to go over here. And it looks like we found some sort of hydroelectric power plant or something. This must be where all the power is coming from. And a pipe. Sadly, we can't go up the pipe. Too steep for us, I guess. Nothing on this wall, but we do have something over here. 539. all sorts of clues, but we haven't really found out where we can use them yet. Here's another one of those closed window things. Another one. And this just leads right back out here. Alright, well, we've pretty much seen all we can see in this area here, so I'll tell you what, we'll go into this fork in the next video.